There is already a lot to talk about in the first dev diary for Hallowed Concepts, the upcoming Risk of Rain 2 DLC, and I'd like to talk all about it. Disclaimer, this is mainly intended for people that have watched the dev diary and want to know more. However, you can watch this without watching the dev diary, just don't make a lot of assumptions if you're unsure about something, or feel free to ask in the comments or in the Discord or anywhere really. But to get started with the basics, the DLC adds 3 new stages, 4 new enemies, 3 of which are 100% known, which are the Lynx Scout, Lynx Hunter, and the Lynx Archer. 3 new bosses, 3 new regular items, 2 boss items, and a lunar equipment. As there's only 2 boss items, the third boss here might either be a major boss or a secret boss, possibly a special boss relating to Nukuhana's awareness of you, which we will discuss later. A new elite type, which we know absolutely nothing about as of now, 2 new item rarities, trials, new interactables, and more music by Starfus, as well as a completely new item type never seen before, which is a curio. We will talk about it in depth later, don't worry as of now. And new skins for all of the cast except for the characters from Allied Collective. As far as I'm aware, we don't know what the decision is behind there not being ones for the AC cast. Personally, I don't mind it as long as the DLC characters do have skins from their own DLC, you know, but we just don't know what the decision making and philosophy for this one is. The new stages are the Tenebrar Quagmire, Damp Caverns, which is a returning stage 2 from Risk of Rain 1, which will now be a stage 4, and what seems to be some sort of ruins, showing similar architecture to that of Certain Rubble in both the Quagmire and Damp Caverns, with a bigger focus on giving more in-run variety and replayability rather than just half-baked outpaths. We are getting several new events and interactables. One of the interactables is a wake event, which, if you don't know, a wake is basically an open casket funeral. We don't know too much about what it actually requires the player to do, but getting too close to it results in it activating and spawning enemies covered in this weird texture filter. I'll go out on a limb and call it a placeholder for them supposedly being ghostly, as well as this, ghostly area around the wake itself. Completing a wake drops one of the 2 new item tiers, the items on the right here, which have a white item outline and green item particles. We've only seen 5 of these items so far. 1 dropped from the wake, which is the flower, a chalice, a scimitar, and this other thing, I guess. And we actually get to see the 5th one on Commando's item display here, where we also get to see an entirely new effect, most likely from said item. It seems to be an on-hit proc item which spawns homing black hands to the target you're hitting. Very interesting stuff. It doesn't seem to deal a lot of damage, but it does activate very rapidly. The second item rarity on the left are very likely dropped from the new trials. The claims of this being that they match the unique text color of the trial pop-up, as well as it being a unique color scheme. And even though I got sidetracked for like 15 minutes doing a colorblind test on stream. Yeah, and also here's Green Chef. That's a 7. I don't know what, do you see that?
Yeah, I see that.
Fuck.
Oh, bro's colorblind. Oh no. Oh no.
I think it might be a 3. Fuck my life. Dude, that just looks like a blur.
That one's so easy, what?
That looks like a blur to me. What? Dude, this looks like a triangle. You have like a line here. Then here, then here. It's literally a fucking triangle. These are not boss items of boss item rarities, and are apparently its own unique color, which is not yellow whatsoever, apparently. I don't see it, but apparently it is. This also most likely means that we either get 10 or 11 trial types, depending on which item rarity has which count, each corresponding to a specific trial. But what is a trial? Well, a trial is a unique stage presenting the player with a specific challenge they must complete. How to get there or what happens if we fail to complete the challenge is unknown. While you're in them, you are more than likely stripped of all your items as seen by this micropod-less captain. They also give you items specifically just for that trial you're playing, which are most likely temporary just for the trial. That's what I'd assume this icon means, not only just to bring attention to them, but also to distinguish them from normal items. In the trials, there is also a prominent type of circle here, which I presume that's either where you start or a safe spot, maybe a checkpoint of some sorts. Maybe the spawns across the map are scattered depending on if you're multiplayer or not, or maybe you just spawn on random parts. That would also make sense, but presumably the child just doesn't spawn while you're in there, because every time we see a child start, they are in this circle. The current trials we know of are the Trial of Broken Glass, where you must destroy 3 slabs before the time runs out, providing you an energy drink to aid you. Trial of Infernal Greed, where you must collect enough money before the time runs out, providing the player with items such as several Berserker's Potion, a Waxwell, and potentially many combat shrines scattered throughout the environment to actually have, a skill expression for collecting money rather than just waiting for enemies to spawn. While we do only see 1 combat shrine, it's more than likely that there are gonna be several, in fact probably the main source, if not only source of gaining money in that trial. Some sort of boss rush trial was mentioned by the community manager in the dev diary, but we know nothing about it.
There are several new trial stages with multiple objective variants, including a boss rush trial.
Most likely not major bosses for us, since that'd be DLC specific. We also see 2 unnamed trials, which could possibly be reboots of the others, but we really don't know. This one where all interactables on the stage are free and the survivor is provided with a 57 leaf clover. This one with a spinning tube, which is most likely a parkour challenge, and this one which is also a parkour challenge, or maybe just the same trial due to the heavy amount of mobility given away. From this point on, we also see a new traversal method, which are these wind fence that traverse you from one to another, most likely similar to the ones in Sky Meadows but more intense. This one with a grinder, which also seems to have an alternative path to the main course by using the aforementioned wind fence. It also has more of those freaky hands, which may or may not be Nukuhana's, she's always watching and those hands do have eyes on them. Another interactable present is this shrine looking thing, which seems to be the source of our apparently first curio item, the Entormat. Locked inside the shrine, the curio is a completely new item mechanic, which is an item that you get to keep and grows along in power with you. It is like an equipment but permanent with its own very unique slot, and to grow it requires you to collect pages. What exactly gives you these pages is not really known, other than that the shrine is related to it, and it's also said to be via interacting with DLC 4 exclusive content, which we don't know what the extent of such a claim is. Is it gonna be a ton of exclusive content for DLC 4, or is it just gonna be like the shrine? We have no idea. You can collect, however, these many different pages to the Endowment at once, which will permanently be unlocked for them and used for various abilities. The current pages we know of are the Dark Alchemy page, allowing the survivor to break down an item into 2 of a lower rarity. Fanatic Summons, letting me summon these little guys, maybe the 4th enemies. We're not sure if these are specifically friendly, but they might just appear as an enemy as well. Also keep in mind that the artifact icons are placeholders for development. The pages to our knowledge are only usable once per stage. It could be that the curio in itself is only usable once per stage, but I find that extremely unlikely for balance reasons. Whether it is the pages or the curio, it most likely replenishes on-stage transitions similar to Captain Beacon's, however, ultimately we're just not sure. The drawback of quote, stealing dark power from Nukuhana is that you're more visible to her. At some point, having her wrath unleashed upon you, such as bringing back hostile ghosts, moving around interactables, fucking with your vision, and more things, some being specific to you and some tied to your party. Maybe possibly even everyone except you, which sounds very interesting and very exciting. The final interactable is the Shrine of Compulsion. These seem to be one of the many cases in the DLC, bringing unique challenges to us. This is kind of very crafting grounds, but I do believe one of these curses from the shrine is related to the ending of the dev diary, where we see a teleporter with a mountain shrine icon and an upside down mountain shrine icon above that one as well, where a tiny itty bitty little bit later in the dev diary we can see a sequence where after fully charging a teleporter, a new boss health bar spawned, and the teleporter charge rapidly skyrocketed past 100%. Judas from the Discord pointed out that the inverse mountain shrine icon could be a reflection of the boss or teleporter, and really resonated with me, so I just wanted to shout that out because it's so cool to have like reflection mountain shrines. That's fucking sick as hell. That being said, however, since we know that this is a stage 4, it could be related to the guaranteed legendary on all stage 4s, which would be very interesting to see more unique legendary stage 4 events. I'd also like to point out that the symbols above Shrines of Compulsions have the same symbol as this Entormat page, my bad, sorry. Just absolutely massive nuke to drop on the entire community that it's not Nukuhana, it's Enkuhana, apparently. Fuck, it's... sorry. Like, kinda insane after like 6 years, But more than likely it is literally just nothing but a cool detail. Okay, so I'm editing the video, right? Which, first of all, I'm so sorry it's taking so long, but like fucking look at it's so much. It's like my first time ever working with this editing software. But anyways, I actually lied. There's one more interactable. This wonderful person, Rio, was talking about this thing. She was like, oh, you've seen this in a short, right? And so she grabs another one, and it's this thing, right? And I'm looking at it, I'm like, wait, do these appear in the dev diary? And it does. And I'm like, oh shit, I remember this from the dev diary because I talked about this, and I was like, maybe it's just a decorative thing, so I completely dismissed it. But we don't have any decorations in Risk of Rain that like branch out into other stages, so this is most than definitely some sort of like thing. Now, what it could be, I'm not sure about. It could just be an entrance into the trials. But then I was feeling like, okay, well, why would it be in the trial itself? Maybe it's like an exit as well. But then like, wouldn't that remove the risk of like doing a trial? No? If you can just leave at any time. So I don't know what that's about. But it is a thing. It is it's a thing. It sure is a thing. Oh, and also this, but we talk about this later. So we also see for the first time ever barrier enemies without them having items. The Lynx totem seems to have an ability which spawns fog around it in the area and explodes like a melting core, most likely a placeholder, out of which come 3 Lynx members each, which have barrier on them. Let's take a look at that. Yep. That's barrier. It sure is. There's not much else to say other than, yeah, that's barrier. Wrong, because there is more to say. The Lynx are also equipped with poison, the first ever enemy to inflict poison, as seen by some sort of 4-touch Lynx inflicting poison upon an apothecary. However, this isn't the first time we see this, because in the trailer we did see the archers shoot poison arrows before the dev diary. But still, it is kinda crazy to think that we will have poison inflicted to us with more sources than just the pools on sulfur pools. There are some things which we just genuinely have no clue about. One of these is this weird mysterious spinning prong thing with a white circle around it, which is conveniently blurred out. I'm onto you, I know what you're doing, mister. This weird ass chest, I think it looks like a legendary chest, but foes don't spawn on stage 2, so something fishy must be happening for it to be here. And furthermore, we also see several of it in this one short, and I find it highly unlikely for these to be 2 natural legendaries just next to each other on the same stage. That would be kind of insane, unless we specifically put them there just to fuck with us for no reason, I guess. We also got a dev interview with lead designer Bruno and these 2 other people that I forgot the names of or what they do, I'm really sorry. To try and summarize, Bruno really emphasizes the horror element of the DLC, things being wrong and quote piercing the veil to the Valley of Death, which is a fucking rad description, creepy footsteps you can only hear but not see, and where things just aren't quite like what they seem like, where something's just always a little bit off, requiring the player to really just keep their attention to what's happening. I suppose that's kind of in reference to interactables moving around and stuff. In terms of survivors, Bruno says we can expect a little bit of old and a little bit of new. What that extends to, we don't really know. A little bit of old could potentially mean a spiritual successor like Railgunner or a pilot. The other guy, operator. Yeah, that's what I mean by spiritual successor. But it could also just be a returning survivor like Enforcer, Miner, Robomando, and I completely forgot for the week I was like working on this video that Handy exists. It could be Handy, I guess. He says there will be a lot of mobility and lots of support, whether that goes for both or just one, we aren't really sure. I would personally like to say that it goes for both characters because Enforcer can suck my balls and he's not very mobile, so if it was related to the returning character, it would mean it's not Enforcer. And that makes me very happy because Enforcer, I fuck Enforcer, man. I just don't give a shit about him. What a boring character. They also answered some community questions and
April, what do you think? Time for community questions.
I'm leaning in.
I love community questions. It's what's really dope about Risk Community. They've got so many questions for us on the Discord, so let's take a look and see what
Let's see this nonsense. Let's see this bullshit.
Okay, so looking at the Discord here, When will we get a side quest to find
Oh fuck no! Oh no! I'm getting out the
fucking mind. I'm gonna lose.
I'm
Nobody
getting out
asked
the
this.
12
Nobody
gauge.
asked this.
It's over.
Nobody asked this. Hold on.
Nobody. Yeah, look that shit up. Look that.
And also this.
And does a pipeline of what bugs are known exist internally?
Okay, first of all, I want to take a beat and thank the community, actually. I think this is really important. We look at the Discord as developers often, and we do see your feedback, and it's invaluable. It really helps us to make a better game, to improve upon the game, and thank you so much for that. We take your feedback from all sources. You know, we file it away, we triage, we make things, we put things in a priority list, and we are happy and excited to continue to fix all the bugs and things that you all uncover.
So looking at some more of these questions,
full respect to Bruno, love the guy,
can you
but he
add
kinda
more
just doesn't
quality of
say
life
anything here.
improvements
I mean,
associated with
he says that
looping and
feedback's
longer
being
runs?
important.
Absolutely. Actually, a lot of that is.
They have a priority list, apparently, allegedly. If so, that priority list. Don't know how I feel about it, but like, what's like process looking like? Are you gonna get some fixes before the DLC? Maybe potentially. Like, you guys looking into that? Like, could we get some transparency about those? Maybe like, if a bug is being looked at, they could like say that. Maybe like in the bug report forums, they could like, you know, once a bug is fixed, they could like close down the thing. Would be a lot of awesome transparency there, and would give me a lot of hope, and would be a great way to be in touch with the community. But what can you do? I got kind of a nothing burger of a question. Well, a something burger of a question, just a nothing burger of an answer. Okay, these final ones do have both good questions and good answers. We have this.
So looking at some more of these questions, okay, can you add more quality of life improvements associated with looping and longer runs?
Absolutely. Actually, a lot of that is coming into the next add-on to Risk of Rain 2. Yeah, we've been playtesting with many people, and we've had some feedback that, like, finally, I have a reason to loop. Finally, like, there's so much content here. I'm not sure I'll be able to get to all of it in one loop. So, yes.
Love it.
Which, admittedly, I'm not sure how what Bruno said connects to quality of life specifically, but who knows. I did see someone say that this might be saving the game, which would be pretty awesome. There was also this.
Has Gearbox considered buffing old Hopu era skills?
Oh yeah, we've been itching to do that from day one. There's so many cool things that we could do and balance and like bring some of the old survivors up to speed. We want to be very careful and make sure that we work with the community and do something that's tasteful and helpful to everybody.
And in response, Bruno said that they've been itching to buff old survivor skills since day one, but they just want to be very careful with it and do it alongside the community. But if or when that time comes, and in what form, we don't know, because free changes to the base game to such an extent are relatively alien to us, especially under the Gearbox era. I personally hope that it's reworks and buffs of old skills, because if they buff characters by adding new skins, that kinda makes just old skills irrelevant and just outright worse. That being said, I am also a firm skills 3.0 believer, and I do want new Gearbox skills, because like Tobu, love Tobu, but their old skills kinda sucked balls, and Gearbox with old skills really just nails the head of the hammer, nails the head with the hammer. I don't know I don't know the saying. And that's it for all the new stuff. I am very interested to how they will handle Risk Reward as a center point of a DLC, as it is something I have studied for quite a while and I'm super passionate about, but seriously kinda doubt how it will be pulled off in Risk of Rain, because for a game with Risk in its name, the Risk Rewards in Risk of Rain have been extremely lacking, and to be honest, quite frankly, shit. They've been ass and butt. Anyways, that being said, bye bye for now.